Hi everyone, it's Eva with another Sims 4 speed build video, and this time with a very funky building. I decided to build a house that is stuck between two cliffs and looks like it's kind of like floating in between them. I honestly don't know where I got this idea from, but I always wanted to build something like this that's kind of like inspired by real houses that are hanging on the edge of a cliff, if you've seen one of those. I think it looks really, really cool. I found it fascinating and frightening at the same time, but I wanted to give this a kind of twist by making it hang in between two mountains. I used the debug rocks from the base game for this, which apparently EA also used for Oasis Springs, where this house is located. You can see that the rocks match the ones in the background in shape and colour, so yeah, this build blends in perfectly with the neighbourhood. In order to make two floors that are just hanging from the top, I built all four, first of all, then raised them to the height that I wanted them to be, and then I deleted the bottom two. And just so you know, I decided to rotate this entire build by 180 degrees after I finished building, mainly because the lighting is horrendous on this side. Plus, then I guess the front is kind of closer to the road, so it makes a bit more sense. But I did it off camera, but you'll see how it all looks in the tour at the end, so definitely stick around for that. So the stairs, big topic. I'm really, really glad we have the stair tool where we can change the direction of the stairs because I think it makes it look so cool. I wanted it to look like the stairs are on the side of the rock kind of and running down alongside it, but unfortunately when I play tested it later, the sim wouldn't go upstairs because the debug rock was in the way. So I changed it slightly off camera just so the stairs are actually functioning. But yeah, the shape and everything is still the same. I just had to move the rock a bit. I recently watched some speed builds from other people and I saw this trick for landscaping which is so handy. It's with raised terrain where you know normally when you place something on raised terrain it's really hard to put anything down because mostly objects just float and it just looks really strange. But yeah, this trick is really cool because you just put a floor tile down on like the area where you want to put your objects. Then place the objects and then get rid of the tile so that the terrain goes back to how you had it before. And then that way the plants and rocks or whatever you're using looks a lot more natural and is kind of concealed in the terrain, which is really cool. And definitely another lifesaver for anybody who does lots of landscaping. One thing I always struggle with when doing an open plan living area is the living room and the TV, because where on earth do you put a massive TV? Because let's be honest, we're not about those tiny TVs, but they always look so ugly from the back. Like you can't really put them freely or against a window because it's just, they're so ugly and it's really frustrating to me, as you can probably tell. So yeah, I got sick of it in this house and I was like, I'm doing something cool. And I resized this side table that comes with Spa Day. And put the TV inside it and then covered the back with some fancy wall decoration. I think it's from City Living. And ta-da! So after one of my last videos where I built a luxurious penthouse, I was kind of in the mood for more modern builds and more black and white styles. So I went for a very similar theme in terms of furniture, but a bit less posh because I wanted to make it a modern space, but at the same time a family home. Even though, if I was to grow up there as a child, I'd be freaking terrified because I hate heights. So this is my biggest nightmare, And speaking of terrified, I thought it was a cool idea to use the glass floors that we have in the game. They come with Island Living, and the idea was like similar to, for example, Tower Bridge, where they have glass floors and you look down onto the street when you walk above it. I think it looks really cool in the bedroom. And I put them all along the corridor, but I think in reality I'd probably struggle to walk across that corridor because I remember when I went up Tower Bridge and it literally took me half an hour to take like 3 baby steps. But yeah, I guess Sims don't really have these struggles, so we're all good. I am also recently obsessed with infinity pools, which is why I also wanted one here in this build, especially because my idea was that it kind of emerges from the side of the rock, so the rock is part of the pool, and I actually really love how it turned out because just think about how crazy it must be to swim in a pool up there. Insane. By the way, if you want to download this lot or any of the other builds that I did, you can head to the gallery and you'll find me under evarotky with no space. I always use 3 cheats, so I use the bb.moveObjects, bb.showHiddenObjects, and bb.showLiveEditObjects. So if you want to have like perfect results, I would recommend you turning on those cheats before you download anything. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more videos like this, like and subscribe, and I hopefully see you in the next video. Bye!